The Babysitters Club. Claudia and the Phantom Phone Calls. Chapter 3. The members of the Babysitters Club gathered numbly in my bedroom. "This is terrible," moaned Christy. "How can we babysit under these conditions?" Nobody said a word. To ease the tension, I took a gigantic chocolate bar out of my notebook, carefully peeled back the wrapper, and offered pieces to Christy and Marianne. I didn't even bother to feel bad that Stacy could eat any. The three of us chewed in silence. "Look," said Stacy after a while, "I think we're worrying about nothing. The phantom caller hasn't even robbed anybody in Stony Brook, so he's still at least 20 miles away." She turned to Marianne. "What makes you so sure he'll come here next? Maybe he'll decide that with the police on his tail, he should just clear out and go rob people in Oklahoma." "That's true," said Marianne slowly. "And in the second place, if anyone we sit for does have some fantastic piece of jewelry, and the phantom caller has heard about it, don't you think we'd have heard about it too? I mean, it wouldn't be any secret then." "That's true too," I said. "But, well, what if you just happen to be babysitting somewhere, and a burglar just happened to try to break in? Not the phantom caller necessarily, but any burglar. It could happen, you know, and we should be prepared." "You're right," said Christy. "Good babysitters should be prepared for anything." "Maybe," said Stacy, "we should arrange a code we could give each other over the phone. That would be a signal for the other person to call the police. Let's say I'm babysitting for Tammy Newton, and I hear a burglar. Okay, I want to call the police, but I don't want the burglar to hear me call the police, right?" "Right," said the rest of us. "So what I do is call Claudia, for example, and I say, 'Hi, it's Stacy. Have you found my red ribbon?' And that's a signal that I'm in trouble and need Claudia to call the police." "Hey, that's a neat idea," said Christy. "Yeah," agreed Marianne, "but how would Claudia know where you are? How would she know where to send the police?" "That's right. That's a good question," I said. "Because what if the burglar was listening in on an extension? I couldn't just say, 'Okay, I'll call the police. Where are you?' That wouldn't do you any good at all." "Oh, listening in on an extension? That is so creepy," screamed Christy. "But it could happen," I said. "It happened in that thriller, The Night of the Weird. You know, the one where they find the babysitter." "Stop, stop, stop! Don't say any more. I don't want to know," cried Christy. "All right, but the point is," I said, "that we should all know where each one of us is sitting and when." "Well," said Marianne, "there's the record book." The record book is where we keep track of our babysitting appointments as well as all other important club information. Christy makes us keep a club notebook too. Each time we complete a job, we're supposed to write up what happened. Then the other club members will know about any problems with kids or their families or homes and know what to expect the next time they sit for the client. I should mention here that each of us holds an office in the Babysitters Club. Marianne is secretary, which is why she was thinking of the record book. Christy is president, since the club was her idea. I'm vice president, since the headquarters is my bedroom and I have a private phone. And Stacy is treasurer, since she likes numbers. "What about the record book?" asked Stacy. "It's got all the information in it. Our appointments, the money we've earned, everything. I could bring it to school every day so we could check the calendar. And during our regular Friday afternoon meetings, we could check it for the weekend. That way, each of us would be sure to know what the others are doing, where they're going to be babysitting." "That's a good suggestion," said Kirsty, "except that, as the president, I'll take responsibility for the book during school. If anything happens to it, it'll be my fault." "You don't have to do that," I said. "We could take turns. No, it's easier if the same person always has it. I don't mind. So I move that I should bring it to school every day." "I second the motion," said Marianne, looking relieved. "Good," said Christy. "Now what about burglar alarms?" "What about them?" I countered. "I think that if we're babysitting and anything strange happens, a silent phone call, a funny noise outside, anything, we should rig up some kind of burglar alarm so that at least we'd know if someone tried to break into the house." For a moment, nobody spoke. At last, Marianne said, "You mean like stacking tin cans in front of a door so that if the door opened, the cans would crash down and alert you?" "Exactly," cried Christy. "That's a good idea." She tore a piece of paper out of my social studies notebook and wrote, "1. Stack cans in front of door or window, inside. But," she added, "make sure you don't put stuff where the kids you're sitting for could fall over it, and make sure you put it away before the parents come home." "Right," we agreed. "Okay, other ideas, Claudia?" asked Kirsty. She was beginning to sound like some of my teachers. No, I said crossly, feeling embarrassed. Then I added, do you have any? Realizing that Chrissy had been doing a lot of talking and writing and not much thinking. There was an awkward silence. Then, how about a smell alert? Said Chrissy with a giggle. Mary Ann and Stacy laughed, but I thought Chrissy was sounding pretty childish again. What admitted What I demanded is a smell alert, if I may ask. Chrissy couldn't stop giggling. You put something really gross like garbage outside the house where the burglar is bound to step in it. Then, when he breaks in, you smell him before you even hear him. A smell alert. I had no intention of laughing. All I said was, a burglar could be a woman. It doesn't have to be a man. Oh, Claudia, it was a joke, said Christy. Come on. Well, I don't have any ideas. Okay, okay, we'll keep thinking. Now I'm going to write about our code words. You guys have to keep these a secret. Keep the whole page a secret. Nobody should know our code. I'm serious now. Okay, we agreed. Should we stick with what Stacy said? Asked Christy. What did she say? I forget, said Marianne. She said, have you found my red ribbon? I replied quickly, glad to be able to answer something. Right, said Christy. And that means that there is some kind of trouble and the babysitter needs the police. I think I said slowly that we should stick with that code that Stacy said, but that we should have a few more code words so we can give more information. Yeah, in case there's a burglar listening in on the phone, the person who gets the phone call should answer in code to let the babysitter know her message was understood and that the friend knows where she's sitting and everything. Added Christy. Stacy. Added Stacy. How about this for the answer? Suggested Marianne. The person would say, no, the blue one. It's simple and it's still in code. That's good, said Christy, but I could see her shiver at the very thought of a burglar listening in on her conversation. I think we should also have a way to let someone know whether we're in really big trouble, said Stacy. Like if a burglar is in the house and we've actually seen him, or either we just think there's trouble. Yeah, I replied. That's important. Okay, said Christy. How about this? After the person who gets the call for help goes, no, the blue one, the babysitter goes, now I'm in for it. And if there's big trouble, or that's okay, if she's not sure there's trouble. All right, we agreed. I'm sure I can keep all this straight, I said. Let's practice, Chrissy suggested. Claudia, let's say you're babysitting for David Michael at my house and you hear a noise out the window. What would you do? I'd call Stacy, I said. Let's hear your conversation. Remember, you don't know where the burglar is if there is a burglar, so you have to use the code. Okay, okay. I'd pick up the phone and call Stace. Ring, 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 said Christy, imitating the phone. Stacy placed an imaginary receiver at her ear. Hello? Hi, Stace. It's Claude. Claude, did you see my ribbon? No. Have you found my red ribbon? Interrupted Christy. No, I haven't, I said. Claude, come on, do it right. I'm trying. Okay, ring, ring, ring. Hello, said Stacy. Hi, it's Claudia. How are you? Not how are you, cried Stacy. Get to the point. You're not making a social call. You're scared to death. I sighed. Hi, Stacy. It's me, Claudia. Have you found my red ribbon? Silence. Then Stacy burst out laughing. I forgot what I was supposed to say. Christy looked ready to kill us. Claude, call Marianne and said, okay, ring ring. Hello? Hi, Marianne. It's Claudia. Have you found my red ribbon? No, I haven't. No, the blue one, shouted Christy. Marianne, you made this part of the code. You ought to know it. I know, I don't know. Start over, Claude. We practiced a while longer until we had the code pretty well memorized. Even so, Christy told us that when we each had a copy of the code words, we should read them over once a day to make sure we didn't forget them. She is so bossy sometimes. Later, as the girls were getting ready to leave my room, Marianne suddenly clapped her hand over her mouth. Oh no, she exclaimed. What is it? I asked. I just thought of something. What if my father hears about the phantom caller? I bet he won't let me babysit anymore. But we decided we don't have to worry about the phantom caller, I pointed out. I know, but if Dad finds out about our code words, forget it. It'll give him something to worry about. I don't think he's thought of robbers and stuff. Maybe we should keep all this a secret from all our parents, said Christy. You know how parents are. Marianne's right. They're big worry words. Let's just go on as if we never thought of any of these things today. Agreed? Agreed. The emergency meeting of the Babysitters Club was over, but our adventure was just beginning.